Hey, what's going on, man? This is Big Grime. I want to talk about today about doing school tours or a tour where you go to different schools and you do performances in front of high school, maybe middle school kids. And, some tips on how I go about doing it. I've worked with different artists, and that's one of the things I've heard a lot between especially younger artists that's like 19, 20. They want to go back to their old school and perform and go to surrounding schools. So a lot of them, well, none of them ever successfully done it because there were certain things that they needed to do to make it happen. They didn't do it. So I kind of made a list of things. Number one, you got to think about it. What's in it for the kids? None of these artists thought about, well, why would they have you perform? You're not, played on the radio every day. You're not on TV. You're not in movies. Nobody really knows who you are besides maybe the people you went to school with and some of your friends. Why would they want you to perform at the school? So you got to think about what's in it for the kids. You could say, whether the show would be educational. That would be the main thing I would say. You got to have something educational. They have to learn something from the show. I mean, you can perform your songs, but also have things in there that the kids could actually learn from. I mean, it could be as little as maybe an experience you've had. Maybe you didn't finish school. You can kind of tell them, I had a hard time. These are the different things I had to go through. This is the reason why you should go to school or why you should finish. Just come up with something that's what's in it for the kids. Number two, what's in it for the school? I mean, yeah, you can talk about education and all that. They learn that every day. What's in it for the school? What I like to do is, get sponsors. You can, bring supplies to the school. You could say we'll donate, part of the money that you make towards the school, whether it be maybe another show you're going to have. Maybe you're going to perform at a club, and you can say, I'll give the portion of the money to the school, or the school could be there at an event that you may have that's like family-oriented. It could be outside, a picnic or something. Just kind of come up with a unique idea where, the school could benefit from this as well. That's also a great motivation and a great door opener for the school. Number three, have an interesting story behind your music. A lot of times we get into music or anything, in a special way or unique way, or maybe something happened to you and you said, you decided to go the route into music. Sometimes people get locked up or bad things happen, and they, turn to music to change their life around. So it's great to have a story behind. Don't just, a lot of artists, they have the idea of just going to the school, perform, they leave. Or they want to sell their CDs or digital downloads. It has to be more than that. You have to have an interesting story behind your music and why you're here. Give a reason to the kids to act, to do something. You could say, on my website I have, games or some type of educational, or you can, challenge them to do something. You can say, I challenge you to read a book, or I challenge you to, go to your local businesses and talk to them about the school. Just kind of give them a reason to do something, because even after the show, you want them to think about you. And you'd be surprised. I mean, most kids probably won't do anything, but you will have kids that will and will do what you ask them to do. So come up with a unique reason to get them to act, to do something. Number five, get the kids involved in the show. Because this is kind of like, I look at the show as it will kind of be like a pep rally. So you want to get them excited. You go to pep rallies, they get, one side to start screaming, and then they get another side to scream. They kind of get them involved and get them active. That's what you want to do with your shows as well. You could, have somebody, you know, dance, or somebody wants to sing or rap for a moment or something like that. Just kind of get them involved into the show, and you know, show them that you really want them in there. Number 6, thank the school and teachers for having you there, because they don't have to have you there. Really shout them out and say, hey, look, I appreciate it. Thank you. Give us the opportunity to share with the kids. We had fun, you know, and just really express your thanks for that. These next tips are kind of going to be like just random things that may help you on your journey. Number 1, talk to teachers about your idea before you present it to the school. There may be a teacher that can give you some advice, maybe who to talk to, who not to talk to, or just kind of give you a heads up on things. Some teachers are very cool and they'll be straight up and honest with you about, you know, what's the chances of you being able to perform or what they may be looking for. So talk to teachers. Again, talk to your students. Talk to the students at the school, because, hey, they might be able to lead you to the teacher to talk to. So, you know, stop some kids, tell them about your idea, what you want to do, what they think about it, you know, who should they talk to. They may not know who you should talk to, but again, they may be able to point you to the cool person or the easy person to talk to about, you know, the idea. So talk to the kids before you know, present it to the teacher or the school. Next thing, get sponsors. I'm very huge on getting sponsors. It's easier to get sponsors once you have the show than before the show, because if you go to people about sponsoring you, what sponsor could be money, it could be items, gifts. Maybe if, let's say if I approach Best Buy, which is a bigger company, you have to go through corporate and all that, it would be more difficult to do. But let's just use them for an example. If I go to Best Buy and I want them to sponsor, they could, you know, give a prize, an MP3 player, headphones, you know, a TV if they wanted to. Just any, you know, electronic items that maybe you can give as prizes, so when you go to the school and perform, you can have them, you know, do a little talent show, you know, have like 4 or 5 people perform, you know, for this prize. Or, you know, for whatever different kind of contest you want to come up with. Just come up with something unique, and you can give away prizes. Or you can draw a name out of a hat or out of a jar, and people can get prizes that way. And then you can, of course, say these things came from Best Buy. Thanks for sponsoring us. Just make sure you give them a good shout out. Volunteer at the school. I mean, even after the show, volunteer at the school. They may have outdoor events where they need people to clean up the trash, whether it be football, sports, or, you know, dances or anything. I know they pay people to do it, but it's always nice to offer to say, look, we're willing to do it. Sometimes, especially now, with the government cutting back the funds of the school, you know, they don't really have the people to do that. You know, they may not. It would be nice if they could put that money towards something else. So if you can offer your services to volunteer at the school, they'll love that, I'm telling you. And one more thing, at the show, you know, find out whose birthday. Teachers, students, find out who have birthdays, so that way at the show you can shout them out. You know, we want to give a shout out to such and such, her birthday today. She is so and so old, you know. So just make sure you get the birthdays, and that way that kind of fills your show up too, so you won't have to perform the whole time and the stretch of time out. The more things and activities you have, the more time you will have, and you know, you may only want to perform 2 songs. Really, you shouldn't. I would recommend you to perform no more than 2 songs, just because, you know, especially if you're not known, it's not like they're going to be singing along to your song, and they may kind of get bored if you're playing a bunch of songs they don't know. So if you're going to just do your own songs, I would say do 2. Maybe even add a song, you performing a song that all of them know and they just going to love it. Maybe a song that's always been played on the radio that everybody likes. But yeah, pretty much it. That's pretty much my tips for right now. These are just simple, straightforward ideas to help you position yourself to be able to do performances at schools, maybe a whole school tour. If you want to do a whole school tour, I would recommend maybe talking to the teachers and talking to the school and all that. But once you get them behind them, then you'll be able to go to the school board and maybe perform at all of the schools. Who knows? So this is Big Grime. I got a website, biggrime.net. You can check me out. Got beats, instrumentals, blogs, videos, and a couple of reviews. All right? Peace.